And back here with Field Hockey with Hatfield. Matt Hatfield, so pleased to be joined by the state champion coach of the Norfolk Academy Bulldogs, the very best program in the entire country when it comes to field hockey. They had a wonderful season, undefeated run for them. In fact, as they finished it off 23-0, beating St. Catherine's out of Richmond. Beating Collegiate out of Richmond at St. Catherine's School 4-3 in a great battle. We're here with Coach Mary Werkheiser, the Hall of Famer, and I'll say it, Coach of the Year. Congratulations, another wonderful season for your squad, and you did it wire to wire, undefeated. It's got to feel sweet.
Oh, definitely feels sweet. It was a nice victory, that's for sure. We like to say 23-0 in 2023.
This was year what for you at the helm of Norfolk Academy?
I started working there in 1989 and took over the varsity program in 95.
Okay. And I know you're not one to brag about yourself, but you have an unbelievable record when it comes to wins and championships. What championship number is this for you now?
I used to refer to myself as the Susan Lucci of state championships. The first few years we lost a lot.
Okay.
But the last few we've won 5.
5 total. Of your 5 here, what's going to be the most memorable part of this one where you dominated so many opponents? You played nationally ranked squads, great competition, and then you take on a team that you beat. I saw you back in October. I think it was on a Friday the 13th, in fact, 7-1. And this one, though, the rematch was a hard battle. You had an early lead. They came roaring back, but you got done.
We got it done. And the girls wanted to make it interesting. They wanted to make it a great state championship, and that they did.
You had, I believe it was 5 players, Coach, if I remember right, chosen first team All-State?
6, I believe. 6,
okay.
yeah.
Obviously, the big 3 we know about with Brooke Betancourt, who's headed to Wake Forest, Joji Purdy, Penn State bound, Lizzie Adams, Columbia bound, and the other 3 for you are?
Gretchen Scott, Cooper Cutchins, and Mac Panko.
You'll have some players that will leave, that graduate, some
Yes.
that will return. What was so unique about this team where the expectations were so high and it seemed like you met it every time and every challenge that came your way?
I think a lot of it was the girls' drive this year, and they worked after last year. We lost the state championship to Collegiate, and we had a great group returning back, a lot of returners, and they focused on getting better and more committed, and they worked hard in the year between. So I was pretty proud of them, and they wanted the toughest schedule possible. So we made it tough on them.
You won the TCIS championship. We're actually here at the Plex, the Regional Training Center, is right over here on the turf against, it was Cape Henry or was it Catholic? You beat
it was Catholic.
Catholic. Okay, you beat Cape Henry, I think maybe in the
semis.
Brooke Betancourt, I heard, put on a show out here. I was busy covering a football game, but we had a couple of times this year, Il Giardino Chicken Farm Player of the Week recipients in Lizzie Adams and Joji Purdy, but Betancourt, at times, she can be that player of the week, player of the year, and really make it hard for teams. What kind of set her apart in your eyes?
She's been an incredible player and leader, and she was willing to put the team on her back, and she did that game. She was going to make sure that we were in the attacking end of the game the whole time, and she's just an incredible leader as well as a player.
Did she kind of her greatness or leadership, the excellence, the maturity that she had with the experience, did that also rub off on the others around her, especially Purdy and Adams, who aspire to now step into those bigger roles, if you will, with obviously, especially in Purdy's case. I mean, she's going to be so highlighted.
Well, I think I'm pretty fortunate to be at Norfolk Academy, and we boast about leadership, and we produce leaders at that school. And so when they get to be juniors and seniors, they're ready to lead. And Lizzie and Gretchen and Lily Stockwell and Brookie, they all took it upon themselves, Mac included, to make sure that they finished the last game.
Certainly when you went out of state for that big Max Field Hockey event, that was a defining point in your season. It mattered a lot. I think it gave them even extra belief. Just for the fans out there, tell them about what that experience was like, because not every team gets that opportunity. Your group sees it and accomplish the goals, if you will.
Yeah, it's definitely an incredible tournament, and you're seeing top-notch competition, and you can choose what level of play you want to see. And we decided this year we're going for the best. And we played Villa Maria Academy and Kincaid School, who was ranked top 4 in the country at that point. And we came home. Last year we split. This year we came home with 2 victories. So that was helpful, really helpful. It told us what we needed to work on and where we can go from there. And then we played a lot of TCIS matches in October and then the TCS championship and all that. We were a little nervous in the final game just because we hadn't seen a lot of corners, defensive corners, and we had a lot of mercy games, so we haven't played a full game.
Yeah.
And I think, that was a big part of Saturday, is that we a little bit ran out of gas.
Well, and speak to that a little bit, because you've done this now. This is your 5th championship. I see this in a lot of sports when we're talking about field hockey or tennis, volleyball, basketball, football. If that team's got that target on its back, and your team certainly did when you become number one in the country, there's a little bit of a sense, and I talked about it in one of the recent podcasts, well, I feel like your squad didn't take like a Maury in football. They know how good they are. There shouldn't be pressure to it. But when you get to that final game, it's it. The season's over whether you win or lose it. So did you kind of sense you've got an early lead, and now that the team's making adjustments, that's like, now we have to respond and do what we're supposed to do? Or
Well, we knew that they were going to come hard in the second half. And they have a player that's on the national team, and she's quite an incredible player.
She was one of the state player of the year, correct?
Yes, Callie Rogers.
Yep.
And she definitely can take a game and single-handedly change it. And we had Cooper on her, and Brookie helped with the double there and all that. And Brookie was definitely, we are not going to lose this game. And she really took it to Callie at the end there. So
those players, when you have that, it matters, doesn't it? When that refuse to lose.
For sure. Yes.
And speak on, you played a really good team here. I mean, collegiate, you lost to them a year ago. So there was that motivation for your squad when we saw in October, even though they took it upon themselves. And you said, I think, all right things about, listen, it was just another test on our journey.
Yeah.
Now the motivation's for them to go, not necessarily defend their title, but keep you from getting it and get revenge for the loss. So did you kind of sense that as well? Did they make some different adjustments tactically besides a couple that you outlined there? Or?
Yeah, they did. They when we played them in October, they had relative girls that moved up from JV to varsity, and they were marking some of our key players. And then at the final game, they switched it around, and they had their experienced players on our experienced players. So that was a little bit of a difference in the game.
There's a lot of really good teams in Hampton Roads and across the state. We've got them flashing across our ticker here. Some of the state champions, including your squad, beating collegiate there. When you look at TAB winning a state championship from here, you're one of two. The first one that came up just short. Cox has got a wonderful program, the record for state titles. Independence won from Northern Virginia. Yorktown won from Northern Virginia. Just a list of teams. Loudoun Valley outlasting Gloucester in the Class 4 final. What's it mean for Virginia to have teams like yours to be getting the recognition statewide and then nationally to get this attention with so many great players across the landscape? And you're blessed to have a lot of them.
Yeah, we are very fortunate. And, the hockey in this area is phenomenal. We have, with this facility that we're at, it really helps. And we are gifted at Norfolk Academy to have a AstroTurf surface as well. And it's now helping as far as the recruiting and going for the college coaches that are looking at our kids and all that. So we're pretty fortunate.
And to that, so many good teams, and this is not meant as a knock. I think it's more of a compliment to your squad. I've been at some games. I'm a novice. I don't have this expertise level that you all do, coaching and playing it and watching it. But one thing that just is so apparent is not just the quickness of your players, the attention to detail, the focus. And when you get in transition, you've had 4 other state championship teams. Is this maybe your best transition group when you get out in the open field, the way you're able to share it and finish plays?
I said that at a lot of pregame talks to the kids, as far as when they put their mind to something, they accomplish it. And it's a lot of it is the preparation that they do going into the game. And this group, more than a lot of other groups I've had in the past, really took that seriously. We talk a lot about visualization, and they were very serious this season. So it was nice to see that. Yeah, you have some all-state players we know about. We've highlighted the Betancourts, the Purdy, the Adams. They're going to get a lot more accolades, as they should, and some other key members of your squad. Give us maybe a couple of different players that we haven't talked about that are important for practice and preparation, because I know every championship team in sports, doesn't matter if it's field hockey or another sport, there are those I call them the glue guys or glue gals that help you get better and grow. Who are some of them for you, besides the standouts we've talked about, like the Betancourts, the Adams, and the Purdys that obviously are mainstays and marquee performers? I have to say, one of our unsung heroes is Sydney Huddleston, and she played midfield for us, and she was always in position, and she was a huge help from getting the ball from the defensive end to the attacking end, and then also being an attacking force. Carrie Boone, who was playing back for us, and she played most of the season with a little bit of a injury to her hip. And she was pivotal for us on the defensive end. We were very fortunate. Most teams have maybe one good goalkeeper. We were fortunate and have 2 good goalkeepers. Mia Clarkson, who's a junior, so we were lucky to get her back next year. But, it was either Mac Panko or Mia who could play the game. And Mac Panko played a majority of Saturday's game, but then when we played Richmond Collegiate in October, Mia played a majority of the game. So we were trying to make it, split it down even with them.
And it's a good luxury to not give up as many goals as you did, very few, and to just really get out to some leads. And the competition you had, obviously playing collegiate once, playing constant teams out of state, and then the fan base that got behind them. And this group of parents and fans that you had, they followed you pretty much everywhere you go that they could, correct?
Oh gosh, yes, they're a great group of parents this year. They were very supportive, and I think back to the last game, the parents were bringing their cowbells and going crazy and all that. It was fun to see. And the one thing I have to say is that I do like, they don't just cheer for their kid, they cheer for the whole team. And that was really nice to see.
And I think that's great, because nowadays in this me superstar mentality with social media we have, sometimes you do get caught up in that. But when you see different parents put on social media, and actually since a couple of your parents, it's funny you say that. I saw this on, I don't know if it was Twitter or X or Facebook, one of them supporting a Lily or a Joji. It was someone else's daughters on the team, but they were glad to see the success. It's not a matter of jealousy. Is that key for a team too? Because when you get number one in the country and you have superstar players, it's easy for someone to not have that selfless unselfishness, but your stars seem to have that.
Yeah, definitely. I wish I could say it was something that I created, but it's just great parenting.
A couple more minutes, we'll let you go. We're talking with the Hall of Fame coach, Mary Werkheiser, Norfolk Academy, state champions yet again, undefeated wire-to-wire, 23-0 season, as they were one of two teams from Hampton Roads along with TAB to get it done this year in 2023 field hockey. It's field hockey with Hatfield at the Plex as they beat Collegiate 4-3 in a wild game, VISAA championship. Coach, for you to have that number one ranking, what did it mean for you? You poured so much of your life into this sport, and I know it's not done when you get that ranking in, I forget if it was late September or October, whatever it was. That's got to be a moment where you step back in private and you say, wow, this is really cool.
Oh, for sure. It's something, I'll never forget. My father is 86 years old, and he's very proud of the fact that his daughter has a number one team. And it's something the girls will remember for the rest of their lives. So not everybody gets to say that, and not very many people get to finish the season with a W. So it's something I'm particularly proud of this group.
Did you and your coaching staff, and you can talk about some of your assistant coaches still, like for you to do that in a second here. Did you all feel any pressure yourselves? Because for the kids, a lot of them are go on, they'll play again. For you, you're closer to the end of the start, obviously, but you say, oh my goodness, if I don't win it with that ranking and that pressure and that tension, that expectation, people will think it's a disappointment or failure, and it's not, because these kids do so much. But did you internally have some of that go through your mind, or thoughts come through?
I always have that going through my mind, regardless of where we're ranked.
Okay. So, tell me about your coaching staff too? How much did they help you during this whole process, and shout them out if you can?
Laura Gibson and Catherine McCallum, I say they're my left and my right hand, and without them, none of this would have happened. Laura, I give her the offensive responsibilities, and Catherine handles the defensive responsibilities as far as breaking it down at practice. And I try to put the whole package together, I guess. But the two of them are very pivotal in all this.
You all had an alumni day. I think it was back in October. I was there for it. It was against either Collegiate or Cox, one of those two. I forget which one it was. And you have people from the program, players from the program come back. How cool is that to have the standouts that you've coached and some that have played before, some of these standouts now, still be proud of what the program and the school's accomplishing?
Oh, they were so enthusiastic and so enthralled with the field, and the game has changed so much since so many of them have played, and they're pretty proud to say they're Norfolk Academy graduates.
Awesome. Well, we'll get you out on this note. What is next for Mary Werkheiser, Norfolk Academy field hockey? When you do what you did,
wow,
5th state championship, the wins keep piling up. I know you want to just exhale. It's funny. I watch a lot of these features on different various networks with pro and college sports. I remember, Joe Gibbs, who used to coach the Washington Redskins, now known as the Commanders. He gets in the limo after he wins the Super Bowl, his third, with the third different quarterback. And some guy opens the door and says, hey, you better win it again next year. I'm sure someone's going to say to you, hey, coach, we were number one in the country. You better do that again next year. I mean, you want to enjoy this, but what's next for the program, if you can tell the audience? And I guess a lot of off-season plans for the gals and yourself.
I have no idea. So I'm just enjoying what we've accomplished this year, and we'll figure it out, and we'll see what happens.
Sure. Well, it should be just fantastic. Hopefully my guy, Chad Byler over there at Norfolk Academy, will do some special things. I know he will. A great AD over there will take care of your squad and then the school for the accomplishments in field hockey this year. Mary Werkheiser, the legend, the living legend with us here on Field Hockey with Hatfield. Thank you so much for stopping by. Congrats on another wonderful season and a job well done.
Thank you so much, Matt.
We'll take the time out. We've got more to do here as we finish up the Field Hockey with Hatfield edition here, getting closer to Thanksgiving. We'll hear from some of our sponsors when we come back at the Plex. Stay tuned.